Hello, Audio Marks, coming to you from the Sachem Public Library. Welcome to the Marks for Life podcast with your hosts, Jimmy and CJ, two casuals turned Marks wrestling fans, to give you a direct line to all things in the squared circle. Enter the ring at your own risk. We pull no punches, we hit hard, and we will slam you with all the info you need to know. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? I said!
And we're live.
Live or back?
I don't keep saying back because that's just weird.
So live is better, even though this is not a live podcast?
Yes. Welcome to Marks for Life podcast. I'm one of your hosts, CJ.
And I'm the other one, Jimmy.
And we are live from my basement.
His studio apartment.
Yes.
If I can put a Colt Cabana podcast reference in there, you're welcome. Anyway, we have a interesting podcast thing to do this week.
Yes. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be going through all of the Survivor Series things that's been happening, as well as all the other things in the wrestling world, with a special discussion main event on the most underrated champions in WWE history, specifically mid-card champions, Intercontinental, United States, European, etc. The Women's Championship, the Tag Team Championship, and the World Championship. So
this is his idea, and I like it. It's I'm such at a disadvantage when it comes to this, but I'm going to do my best.
I did 30 minutes of research.
Yeah, that's too much research. I'm all about research. I just can't now.
Yeah, I got
too much research for school. It's just I can only do too much. I can only do so much research.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. I did enough research for the both of us, so it's something we could discuss.
Of course.
And he does have people in his mind already. When he thinks of underrated, it's really something that comes to his attention already. It's just I really wanted to do something in-depth and pick stuff out of the box that I feel like still, deserves to be up there.
I'm just more excited about the news and stuff that's been going on this week.
That as well. That has been really cool. I'm not denying that.
It's been probably one of the more eventful weeks that's been going on for quite a while.
Yes. So, let's dive right into it. The first thing we have on our list is a Cultaholic update. Now, if you guys remember from our last podcast, we were talking about Adam. That was his name?
Yes, Adam Blampied.
Yes.
Former What Culture guy turned Cultaholic guy, and now he's out of that company. But they just launched their YouTube site back this past Sunday, and going from here on now, it's pretty good. It brings back to the really old good days of What Culture. They do a lot of lists. They do news. They have their own review kind of site. Well, not site, but they have their own review show that they do called WTF.
Okay.
And it's done by the original guy who did WTF from their What Culture days. And currently, right now, they're skimming the line of 160,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel. They also have a Patreon page. I'm just going to bring that up. Because I believe the last update that I saw for their Patreon page is that they have currently 500 patrons.
Which is really good. I know a lot of things was that we were worried about that. We were worried that they wouldn't be able to pull as many people due to the news that broke out about Adam Blampied, whatever. But
if you're gonna say his name, say it right.
That's why I just stick with Adam.
Anyway, yeah, they were struggling for a while. They honestly did not know. But looking at the numbers that they've been getting for their patrons and stuff like that. Hold on, I'm just trying to bring it up. I believe they have enough money to actually rent a studio month to month now, instead of doing what they've been doing right now. I think is what they making videos and stuff in one of their apartments or something like that.
Like us.
Essentially.
Us.
Exactly. I've made personal pledges to $1 per month personal pledge from them.
Oh, wow. That's so much money.
Yeah, I know. Hey, it helped them get to the 500 mark. I'm just saying. I helped. I think that their stuff is really good. I would be pretty excited to see them going forward and stuff. I'm just trying to see if I can find what they have some pretty interesting reward points for their Cultaholic site. Here's one of the craziest ones that's hilarious that I found. It's called "Are You Insane? Do Not Click This." The amount of money that you would have to spend is $10,000 a month.
Oh, wow.
Here are the rewards. Adam, who's Adam Pacitti, who's like the main guy now that Adam Blampied is gone.
Yes.
There's Ross, who does W2F. There's Jack, also known as Jack the Jobber, also known as Jack the 5-year-old child, who does their news and stuff like that. And then there's Sam, who's their video editor. And they will come to your house to watch a WWE Network pay-per-view of your choice anywhere in the world. Please don't click this. We really don't want to do this. In your first month only, Patreon exclusive fan pack featuring exclusive t-shirts, signed photos, the whole team signed WTF moments script. There's just a whole bunch of crazy things.
We should look into doing that.
Yeah, we should definitely put a 10,000 thing there. That'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
You can beat us.
Exactly.
I'm easily
with $10,000, as soon as we get that money in, we're going right to your house. Unlike them, we're willing to do that.
Yeah, because you'll be giving us the money to do that.
Thank you.
But congratulations, Cultaholic. I am very glad that you guys were able to move past this and have a successful pilot, successful debut, and I hope it is a continued push.
Exactly. I would recommend definitely checking out their videos. They have some of the more interesting stuff there. They have 10 most disturbing cults in professional wrestling, 10 most shocking real-life defections in wrestling. I wonder why.
Bret Hart.
And then they have some
Lex
other...
Lex Luger, Rick Rude.
Definitely check out WTF. Those are always fun to watch. And then they had some interesting breaking news, which is something we're going to discuss with you right now.
Yes.
Well, before actually that, I'm gonna quickly go over the 30 for 30 on the Nature Boy, which is all about Ric Flair. And if you have not watched
Buddy
it,
Rogers.
well, he makes it interesting you say that because it's actually referenced in that, so it shows what you know because you haven't watched it, which I highly recommend everyone go watch this 30 for 30.
Just a side note, I'm sorry I didn't watch it. I was busy, doing research on our actual main event topic.
Listen, it's 30 for 30 on Ric Flair.
That's 30 minutes that I spent.
It is not 30 minutes. It's actually an hour and a half.
Yeah, I can't have the time for that.
You have the time, and we have all the time to watch wrestling. It's like 3 hours worth of stuff. What? If you do a Hulu thing, that's 3 hours.
I can sit through all of that right now.
Fine.
I'm working on it.
Anyway, I would highly recommend everyone go watch the 30 for 30 on Ric Flair. It's really catered to not marks. So if you're not a mark, it's a really good stepping stone into the professional wrestling life and what it's like. It's a little dramatized, but there are a lot of interesting things that he talks about. He talks about the early days of his professional wrestling career. He talks about the plane crash that
almost killed him.
That later actually transformed him into the Nature Boy. His whole lifestyle when he was throughout the entire Nature Boy style. He talks about his retirement.
I heard Undertaker actually is interviewed.
That was the first time the Undertaker ever did a live sit-down interview thing. Not as the Undertaker. He did it as his
Mark
real...
Calloway.
Exactly. It was incredible.
Really?
Yes.
That might make me want to watch it, because I've never... The only interviews I've seen with The Undertaker, I believe, was the WrestleMania 19 promo, when he was talking about what WrestleMania meant to him.
Right. There's some other interesting things. He talks about Reed, towards the end. Yeah, he talks about Reed, and it's one of the saddest things. One of the quotes that he said that he treated Reed more like a best friend than his son, and he regrets not treating...
Reed like a son.
well, not so much like a son, but the way that he acted was he was more of a friend to Reed than a dad, and he wishes he was more of a dad to him. And
How many times did he mention Charlotte?
Charlotte's actually in it.
I figured.
As Ashley, of course.
Yes.
But he even says that one of the proudest moments of his wrestling career was to watch Charlotte be a Divas champion.
Good for him.
And there was just a lot of backstage stuff. There was some animation of like some of the stories he was talking about, and the animation was done really good.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about like WCW. He talks about traveling, about really embracing the lifestyle. Surprisingly, Hulk Hogan puts him over for once.
Oh yeah, that's at Bash at the Beach?
No.
Bash.
Like literally in the documentary, Hulk Hogan is in it, and he actually puts him over.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it was really interesting. I'm not gonna say like this is like the best thing he possibly ever do. Bring him back in. No, the whole thing with Hulk Hogan, aside from that, is a little different. But seeing him being humble for a change was nice. And especially literally saying Ric Flair is the greatest professional wrestler of all time, and I would agree with him on that.
Yes.
But I highly recommend watching The Nature Boy. It's still on. I have it on my DVR if you want to. If I bring over my iPad next time and just let you watch it.
All right.
All right.
Probably find it on YouTube or something, too.
Probably some segments, but I would.
Speaking of segments.
The next one.
Can I announce this one?
Okay, hold on. Go on.
So, coming this January, we have the Alpha, Chris Jericho, wrestling the Kenny Omega for the United States Championship, the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom 12. What the fuck?
This was one of the happiest things I've heard in quite a long time.
You know what? Kenny Omega?
You just made the list.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. Chris Jericho called this out Kenny Omega after another successful title defense. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. I also have a side note about the Young Bucks you're gonna enjoy. I just found it out.
Okay.
Alright, so Kenny Omega's like, oh, there's no one left to beat me. I'm the best Canadian ever. Cue the countdown. Old school Jericho with Judas playing in the background. Judas by Fozzy. Look it up. Fantastic song. I love it.
I mean, he's got to put over his own music. I mean, it's
Oh
Chris
my
Jericho.
god. I've been waiting for him to do that in WWE, but no, we gotta listen to Break the Walls Down.
What's wrong with that?
I like Judas better.
Well, okay, I'll give you that.
And then Jericho. Here's the thing. This is the first time Jericho has wrestled outside of WWE since 1999.
Well, it will be when he actually wrestles. He just made it. What was it? A pre-taped segment for that whole thing, which was still good. Like I remember watching. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then Chris Jericho right there, and whatever I was drinking literally came out of my mouth because it was such a shock. You're like, how is Vince actually letting this happen? Did he release him from his contract?
No, he was a free agent. He didn't have to tell Vince.
No, that's an interesting thing. According to PW Insider, he's still under contract with Vince.
I heard from different sources that Chris Jericho is actually a free agent and he was not under any contract, which is why he was able to do the Jericho Cruise as well, and he's allowed to wrestle for that.
Nope, he's still under contract under Vince McMahon. I'm looking it up right now.
So am I.
But regardless of that, it's still going to be I think it's going to be an amazing match, like, leading up to it. Because obviously Chris Jericho is an amazing mic worker, and we just haven't seen enough of that in New Japan, and it will definitely get an American audience watching it.
Oh, definitely. And it just does so well. And I feel like, here we go. Recent reports, Chris Jericho is not under WWE contract and has been a free agent since his WWE contract expired in May. This is an article from Wrestling Incorporated yesterday.
Chris Jericho is still under WWE contract despite recent appearance at NJPW Power Struggle, according to reported citing Tokyo Sports by PW Insider. Also, tweet by Vince McMahon by his actual Twitter thing. literally days after he did that whole segment on New Japan saying, "Happy birthday to the curator of hashtag the list of Jericho, I am Jericho."
Mm-hmm.
So here's my question. If this is true that Jericho is still under contract, what is Vince getting out of it?
More than likely, this is more of a Triple H getting out of it than Vince McMahon.
Okay, so what does Triple H get out of it?
A working relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then by that proxy, could get Ring of Honor.
Okay, well, he's kind of already had Ring of Honor for a while, though.
No.
Technically.
Technically, he's been farming Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Okay, so this could be a working relationship that could build into cross-promotional pay-per-views, which Ring of Honor has been doing for the past couple of years. I think this is more of a Triple H thing than a Vince McMahon, because Chris Jericho's contract expired in May, and he said that on multiple interviews that his contract ended in May. So he's been asked to return for certain dates, which is fine. Like, he was called in for the AJ Styles, Kevin Owens United States Championship botch. He was going to be called in for Finn Balor in September, but he could not do it. He was supposed to actually wrestle in the TLC pay-per-view, but he could not. These are one-offs. He's not under a contract.
All right. I mean, yeah, you're definitely stating that they're one-offs and everything like that, but it does seem interesting that PW Insider would say that he's still technically under contract.
How, though? If he was under contract...
PW Insider is still an established wrestling journalism thing. Like, I know that sounds weird saying that, considering it's about wrestling, but it's still something that, PW Insider is saying it, it's a bunch of fake news. Like,
Yeah.
That's not... I don't think PW Insider would just make that up for no reason.
But I have multiple reports. Wrestling
From what?
Incorporated, cage side seats.
How old are these articles?
These are all from like the past couple of hours, from like the past day or two.
All right.
Sports Kita did this 6 days ago, talking about how Chris Jericho is, not under contract. And, that's the thing. Chris Jericho has stated in many interviews how he is on a certain contract basis based on when his Fozzy tours are going, Dancing with the Stars, his books. He's doing a lot of promotional stuff for him, building his own brand.
And also his cruise, don't forget that.
And
that ended.
His cruise is the next big thing.
Well, I think it ended.
It's next year.
Oh, it's next year. It's definitely
2018, yes. Young Bucks are going to be on there and stuff.
Do you want to go?
They have a new finishing move. I do want to go. Here's the side note, though, about Young Bucks. They have a new finishing move.
Ah, they do.
It's called cease and desist.
You
want to know what it is?
That's amazing. What?
It's a sharpshooter crossface combination.
Oh, God, I love the Young Bucks. I love them.
So that's that. But... So I believe Kenny Omega's going to win this. I feel like this is another example of Chris Jericho doing what's best for the business and passing the torch on to Kenny Omega as...
What if the opposite happens, though? What if Jericho wins? And then we'll see a rematch at some point on a WWE program, because that's the deal that they get.
That would be interesting. I would enjoy that.
What if Jericho comes back during the Rumble wearing the IWGP Heavyweight belt?
Again,
and then Kenny Omega comes out at number 30 and then kicks his ass.
This is why I'm saying Chris Jericho's probably going to be the bridge between the new WWE and New Japan. And if you remember correctly, they also have a relationship with Japan by enlisting Jushin Thunder Liger back at Brooklyn in 2015 against Tyler Breeze. And they let Jushin Liger pin Tyler Breeze. They put Jushin Liger over.
And they sold merch.
Yeah.
I remember. I saw the merch when I was there live. Yeah.
So this is probably going to be working towards better and better pay-per-view, better relationships. But I don't believe Chris Jericho is under contract.
Me personally, I'm sticking with the PW Insider report just because out of all the other ones that you mentioned, they are more quote-unquote established.
But what about straight from Chris Jericho's mouth?
I mean, when did he say all these things?
What? That he's not under a contract?
Unless he signed a new contract.
I don't think he signed a contract.
Well, you said that he made new deals to do one-offs whenever it.
WWE needed it.
Yeah, WWE needed it, and it worked within Fozzy tours and whatever
Yes.
else he was doing. What if he signed a deal similar to John Cena, being like, okay, I'll be part-time, and these are the things that we can do, and...
But he said in multiple interviews his contract expired in May. Then you got to ask, hey, are you coming back now that we saw you do a surprise return on SmackDown? No, they just needed me because they botched the finish. It is a one-off appearance.
All right.
He said many times.
I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that's what Pre-W Insider says. And
You're such a sheep. You are. Come on.
Oh.
Think.
Oh, so I'm supposed to be trusting these other not the most established wrestling ones, and I sound like such a mark when I say that.
Or you could trust Chris Jericho, who's actually the guy doing it.
Unless he's working you, because A, he's a wrestler, and B, he's the wrestler.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah,
but
so I'm being the sheep.
No, but he's never been shy about his contract status after it was up. He's never been shy about that.
All right. I'm still up in the air. I don't know.
I know.
Anyway, let's
The fourth thing we wanted to talk about, speaking of returns and surprises, another thing we wanted to bring up is Paige, which personally for me, there are reports that she's going to be coming in at Survivor Series as part of SmackDown roster.
Yes.
And there's also reports that she is single now.
Woo!
Yes. Thank God. But she's single, that her and Alberto Del Rio split, which kind of leaves a lot of the bad imagery at the door when she's coming back to WWE. Now, the big question is, how do you see her returning? Because with the reports of her returning Survivor Series SmackDown-wise, how would the debut be best handled?
If I had to make an educated guess,
Yes.
remember when we had the discussion? What was it? A couple of weeks ago with Jinder and Brock.
Yes.
And then I gave that whole fantasy thing, and you said no. I would rather see McIntyre somehow in the Survivor Series match instead.
Yeah.
Similar to that, where one of the SmackDown people get injured or something like that. I don't know. Is it completely filled?
So right now, it's Becky Lynch, Lana, Tamina, Carmella, and Charlotte.
So technically that team is filled. So let's say, I don't know.
Here's the thing. Next week, it's Charlotte versus Natalya for the Women's Championship.
Okay.
So if Charlotte wins said championship, that leaves a spot open. Either Natalya fills it, or Paige comes in as a mystery teammate.
Possibly, yeah.
That's the way I could see it happening.
Yeah, I could see that.
Or she makes her debut next week because they're still going to be in Europe. Imagine the pop she gets.
Oh man, she'll get a huge pop if it's somewhere in I don't know, London.
It would have been.
Is that the next spot?
Well, last week was Manchester, which they should have done it then. But
But is she from Manchester? I thought she was from Southampton. I forget. Or Hampton, or whatever town in the UK she's in. I forget.
I could look it up.
Anyway, if they do it in London, though, I think that it would be probably a huge pop because though the Manchester crowd was pretty good, I think the London crowd is always better.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So she'll definitely get a bigger pop for that. Speaking of Manchester and debut,
oh my God.
we have the debut of Pete Dunne.
The Bruiserweight.
We're just talking over each other. Go on, my friend. I'm sorry.
The WWE United Kingdom champion, defeating Enzo Amore, the Cruiserweight champion. What do you think about that? I know you're a huge Pete Dunne, Mark. You love Pete Dunne. You were a huge fan of him during when he was being considered for the Cruiserweight Classic, as well as...
Well, he wasn't in the Cruiserweight Classic. He was in the UK tournament.
When he was being considered.
Oh, yeah.
When he was being considered, as well as when he was chosen to be a part of the United Kingdom Championship Tournament. What are you feeling? How did you feel with the Bruiserweight debut?
How did I feel? Hold on. I felt great. I I have to blame Kevin Dunn on this because I know this is a production problem, but they really semi-screwed up that intro. Because you have Pete Dunne's music playing, and then you have Kurt Angle introducing this interesting UK star, and his name is right above on the Titantron, and then Pete Dunne comes out. But it was still awesome to see Pete Dunne come out.
I like Corey Graves' reaction. That's not Pete Dunne, that's Kurt Angle.
Oh, man, we also need to talk about that whole Corey Graves thing that's going on with UK. Have you seen those? On Twitter, he's been having beef with Pierce Morgan.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that. And Corey Graves is just slamming him on Twitter.
Oh, God. I love
Corey Graves, yeah.
Screw Pierce Morgan.
Tell me more about your feelings with the Bruiserweight debut.
I thought the right thing was done by him destroying someone like Enzo Amore.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see more of him on Monday Night Raw. That's a must.
Okay.
And if that's going to be the case, post-Survivor Series, I want to see him go up against The Miz really badly.
Really? Why The Miz?
Because The Miz is really good at putting people over,
Mm-hmm.
and it will help Pete Dunne get over, and also the fact I want Pete Dunne to be UK champion and Intercontinental champion.
Okay.
I want him to get all the gold. That's how much he means to me.
Okay.
That's why he's awesome.
Well, this is Jimmy's point of view on the Bruiserweight. Pete Dunne.
Am I wrong?
I think that that he was there, one, because it was a UK show.
Oh, of course.
I think that this is also going to be good promotion for the UK show.
Is there going to be an official UK show?
There are reports of it coming, not coming, I don't know, but this kind of introduction kind of would help network views.
Of course.
I do think that he does not belong in the Cruiserweight nor the United Kingdom Championship division. I do believe he belongs in the mid-card scene, but I feel like he needs to be built up. Well,
that's why I think putting him with The Miz would be good, because The Miz was great at doing that.
Oh, yeah, but, I think that should be maybe in a year or two.
Okay, that's fair.
But I was excited to see Pete Dunne. I'm glad that there were multiple... that the following night on 205 Live, they were introducing the UK division, courtesy of the Zoe Train, Enzo Amore, Zoe Show, whatever the fuck he wants to call it. And then it was him versus Tyler Bate. And I felt like that was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good, though.
Did you actually watch the match? I didn't, but I heard it was really good.
I heard it was really good. I was reading up on it and stuff. And, as he was introducing Tyler Bate just introduced him. What was it, Bop? That's his left hand?
Yeah, Bob.
Bop? Yeah, he just bopped him, and I was happy about that. I hate Enzo Amore.
Yeah,
he's a schmuck.
He is a schmuck, but
yes. But congratulations, Pete Dunne, on your Raw debut.
Clap and a half. Clap and a half. 2 claps.
I don't care.
Whatever. But really glad for Pete Dunne, though.
Yes. Great debut, great reception. Granted, it was in the UK, but it was a great reception. So when he comes back, people will understand him to be a big deal. Speaking of champions and championship matches, another thing that we have to talk about is the amount of championship matches that have been going on the past couple of weeks into next week, actually. Last week, we had Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James. The winner would represent the Raw Women's division as the Raw Women's Champion in Survivor Series. Alexa Bliss won.
Obviously.
This past week, we had 3 championship matches. Oh, and last week, 3.
Okay, 3. What's the third one? Well, no, go on with your thing.
Last week was also the Intercontinental Championship was defended. And I believe the United States Championship was defended as well.
Yeah, but I don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, but Baron
important.
Corbin won and The Miz won, and they defended their championship. Now they're versing each other. This past week, we've had the Raw Tag Team Championship defended. Cesaro and Sheamus the Bar defeated Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins of The Shield to become the new Raw Tag Team Championship.
By chicanery.
By chicanery, which we will get to later. we have we had the Usos lose to Gable and Benjamin via countout but they still retained the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And we had AJ Styles defeat Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship, which was fantastic. The United Kingdom crowd, the UK crowd was off their feet. It was
because it was the first World Championship that was changed hands on UK soil.
Yes.
Ever?
Ever. First time ever. And it was phenomenal.
Good job, WWE. Good job.
Oh, I thought we were doing that whole
No,
clap.
No, that was a golf clap.
All right. And then next week, we have Charlotte taking on Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. What do you think about all these championship matches in preparation for Survivor Series? And do you think they should just do this more, have more television championship defenses?
Okay, so we have to break that down because there's a lot going on. So, generally speaking, yes, there should be more championship matches on regular television shows because it brings them to be more important.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with that part of the statement. I understand why they had to change hands, the Shield and the Bar, for Survivor Series, for what we're going to go into next.
Yes.
I was not a huge fan of it.
Okay.
Because I would have liked the Shield to remain champions. And I would have liked to see them actually try to do a free bird rule with that, or get like a single championship, like get the Intercontinental Championship, and then three bird both those titles, and that would have been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not going to get that, but I'm happy for what's going to be going forward for both tag teams. Now, back to Jinder and AJ. That was the best Jinder Mahal match ever. So
thank you, AJ Styles.
Yeah, good job, AJ.
I feel
That's why
that
he's the best in the world.
That match probably legitimized his reign and his position as an upper mid-carder.
Yes.
I'm happy that they changed hands. I am looking forward to a Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles match.
Yes, and we can also officially declare that my original fantasy booking of McIntyre beating up Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series is dead. Which is sad. I wish that it would have happened because that would have been amazing fantasy Mark booking, but
I did not think AJ would.
What we're getting now is a million times better than Jinder versus Brock. But I think at some point, maybe not now, but maybe in a year or so, maybe a little bit like post Mania, I would like to see Brock versus Jinder. But I don't even know what's going on with Brock's contract for him to even go, I'm going to stay in WWE to have a Jinder Mahal match.
I have 3 follow-up questions with that. First one, this is regarding the tag team match. We're officially getting the Usos versus the Bar, SmackDown versus Raw tag team.
Well, that might change because I did hear that Jimmy got injured.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about first. What do you think they're gonna do with that? Do you think
they might have another? They might. I don't know.
Because there was reports of them actually working a tag team match, in a live event not long after.
Oh, we need to talk about another live event on tag teams, but we'll do that after.
Okay, but there was a live event that they worked. Do you think maybe it was just him selling it really well? Do you think it was maybe it wasn't as severe of an injury?
I think we'll find out more come SmackDown.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's gonna play up better. It could be. We could be, being worked. It could be for real. If it is for real, I have no idea what the plan is for that.
Chad Gable.
It probably is that,
Benjamin.
but we would have to make a match, and then Jimmy would have to power through it, or they would have had to strip them of the belts at some point, and then I don't know. It's messier now.
Do you think they should have won, Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin?
No, because it should have been the Usos going into Survivor Series. That incident with the injury with Jimmy possibly, that could have may or may not have happened. It still would have been the Usos in the Bar, in my opinion. But I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad about that though, because that was one of my fantasy things. Should Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin win, they go to
Survivor Series and have an interaction with Jason Jordan.
Yeah, and then Jason Jordan and Chad Gable both beat up Shelton Benjamin and stuff. But that didn't work out at all in my head. But I have a different thing for Jason Jordan that I'm going to talk about later.
Okay.
Second question. Do you think Jinder Mahal is going to regain the WWE Championship in the India tour coming
They
up?
would have to. WWE booking would be stupid if they didn't do that. Even if it is with AJ Styles, and AJ Styles is great, but let's say that I don't know, if WWE wasn't a U.S. company and they were promoting, I don't know, like let's say it's a bad example. Let's go with the IWGP. Let's say that Okada was going to defend his world title here in America, and it was going to be against another, I don't know, New Japan guy like Kenny Omega or another big top American guy. And an American guy actually beats him to get the IWGP heavyweight title. That would be amazing. And I think would really solidify that. So in that same regard, it would make sense for Jinder to win the Indian Championship. But win the World Championship in India. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And this could be where Kavita Devi makes her debut as well to help him win.
That's true. Is that going to be televised?
It might. I could see it being televised. Or like a networks thing or something like that.
Because I heard about other things that may not be televised, like Starrcade. I heard that might not be televised. And now that...
Yeah.
And that whole main event scene got screwed up too. Unless, there's going to be a weird title change shift in the next week.
Hellify now.
So...
I don't know.
I don't know. The Starrcade card got really screwed up somewhere between now and then.
We're not going into that because that's a whole other topic in of itself.
Yeah, that you're definitely going to be telling me on this podcast. That you're going to be telling all the auto marks on this podcast when that happens. No?
No,
all right.
I'm holding my tongue.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
Holding my tongue right
holding
now.
your tongue. Let's move
third,
on to the... You want to move on to the next? Okay, final question.
Should Brock and AJ main event Survivor Series over the Survivor Series elimination match between the men and the between the two brands, the men's.
Yeah, the men's tag team match. Yeah.
Do you think that? What do you think should end?
Well, I think it should be the match. I think it should be Brock and AJ.
That should be the main event?
Yes, because there's precedent for it. Brock did the same thing last year with Goldberg. And that shocked the world. So it would be interesting to see, because one of two things could happen. One, Brock Lesnar can dominate AJ, and it would be a very good match considering AJ can pretty much put anyone over.
Yes.
And it would be interesting to see Brock Lesnar go longer than 5 minutes in a match by himself. Or...
we got something like CM Punk versus Lesnar.
True. But I was going to go with somehow AJ beating Brock Lesnar to continue his losing streak at Survivor Series. I'm just saying. Honestly, we don't know what's going on. What was another pay-per-view? We honestly didn't know what was going on. I don't remember. There was a pay-per-view that we had no idea what the booking was going to look like. I think it was SummerSlam. I think that was the last one we honestly didn't know what was going to happen. What do you think?
I don't think it was Survivor Series.
No, SummerSlam.
I know. I thought... was it SummerSlam or was it Rumble?
No,
Rumble...
No, Rumble's always going to change like that. So
I think you're right, it was SummerSlam.
Yeah, like this past one for this podcast that we were doing.
Yeah, or was... No, it wasn't Money in the Bank. That was easy.
I think let's just go with SummerSlam and eventually we're going to discuss it.
But I'm excited for it. That's going to be fantastic. That's going to be good. That's the best way I could put it. Like, I am super excited for that.
Yes. I mean, I don't know. I think that Jinder might have had a good match with Brock, but it's not going to compare to what we're about to get. So, good job, WWE booking. You did a good one. All right.
Yes. The following topic we have...
well, it's not the final one. There's still several
I said following.
Following,
sorry. The following topic we wanted to discuss was Blue versus Red. Survivor Series, SmackDown versus Raw. The men's team has been confirmed. The women's team is still shaping up. On SmackDown, captained by Becky Lynch, we have, so far, currently, Charlotte, Lana, Tamina, and Carmella joining her.
Didn't you say what's her name?
Paige,
No, not her. The other one.
Carmella, Tamina.
No, the one that doesn't
Oh,
wrestle.
I
What's her
forgot. No, Naomi's supposed to be in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you look on that.
Yeah.
What was the women's one for Raw? Is captained by Alicia Fox. You have her,
Yes.
Nia Jax.
Her, Nia Jax, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and
And
there will
Bayley.
be a triple threat match on Raw to determine the final member between Dana Brooke, Mickey James, and Bayley. Who do you want to see get that last spot?
Mickey.
You want to see Mickey too? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Bailey's good. It's just a gimmick. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with Bailey to really change her to make her more interesting. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. She's just not interesting, and I hate saying that because she's a great wrestler.
Oh yeah.
And then Dana, she's getting better,
I don't
but
think
she's
it's-
not.
yeah.
She's not there yet.
But
That's
it is.
objectively looking at it. She's not there yet. I'm not saying. I personally am starting to like her more and more as she's on the roster because she has really stepped up, and especially with her tragic loss that she experienced.
Yeah.
But a couple months ago,
No, a while ago.
couple months.
Yeah.
I'm just going a couple months ago because I don't know off the top of my head. But she. Sorry, just go on.
No, SmackDown's Becky Lynch, Carmella, Charlotte, Naomi, and Tamina. No Lana.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Yeah, so there's a possibility. Is there going to be a match to decide the fifth member?
Yeah, it's definitely Bailey, Mickey, or
No. For SmackDown.
No, it is all. It's five.
That's all five for SmackDown. But
Yes.
for Raw, okay. So yeah, definitely Mickey James for Raw, and then I don't know if this championship match goes into Charlotte's favor because at this point I'm not going to go with what's already predetermined at what's going to happen at Starrcade.
Yes.
That's just Starrcade's already a mess right now, so I'm not even
Yes.
going to go into that. But let's say Charlotte wins, which would be amazing. It's either going to be Natalya or Paige.
Yes.
I would like to see, if it is going to be Charlotte, I would like to see Becky give that gesture to Naomi and pull what the Miz did back in SummerSlam of like 2010 and be like, I'll give you my answer later. And then at the pay-per-view...
You mean Natalya, not Naomi.
Oh, yeah, Natalya, my bad.
Yeah.
Give it to Natalya. Natalya then waits the pay-per-view, but then Becky's like, no, I couldn't wait for your answer. I picked this person. And then it comes out to be Paige.
That'd be good.
But by these teams, though, that are already established, for the women at least, who's going to win? I have a feeling it would be Raw, because they already have...
They have Asuka and Nia Jax, which are the two biggest threats to SmackDown. Becky Lynch eliminated Nia Jax last year,
Yeah, but
Asuka's the X Factor.
They can't end the... Well, it wouldn't be ending the streak, but it would be ending just the whole push that Asuka's been getting since her debut.
I think Asuka, if she was to be eliminated, has to be a count out. And then have...
Would it be a Braun Strowman one? That'd be amazing. It's somehow James Ellsworth holds onto her leg.
And then Asuka literally...
Kicks the crap out of him. We need to talk about that for a second with
Yes.
what happened with James Ellsworth. But let's focus on this.
No. We can segue into that now. Becky Lynch and James Ellsworth took part in the first ever intergender match since Vince McMahon versus Stephanie McMahon in like 2003, 2002, 2003.
Like the tail end of the Attitude Era.
Yes.
I wish I saw that though. But I heard it was
Comedic.
which if it includes James Ellsworth and him getting his ass whooped by a woman, then yeah, it's probably hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I'm
happy this finally happened. I'm so happy.
I don't know. I don't think they're gonna do more of them.
I
think they're
so
just
either.
gonna do it for James Ellsworth. Which, at this point, they should, because I feel like James Ellsworth fits into the women's division so perfectly. So, how they came up with this idea, I have no idea. It's brilliant. Good job.
They pretty much... Becky Lynch was calling out Carmella. Carmella's like, nah, take out James Ellsworth instead. And Shane's like, you know what? Sure, let's have this happen. And then... It happened.
No, I mean like backstage, how they came up with this idea.
They probably had it in their workings for a while. They just didn't know how to really
They wanted to do it with like Asuka or Nia Jax first.
No, I think it was Bailey versus James. I just think that they didn't know when to execute it.
Okay.
So
But for that purpose, I think that I'm glad that we got that match. I'm glad of what the women's is going to look like. I honestly think that Raw has the distinct advantage, and I have no idea what kind of X factor is going to lead to Asuka, because that's really it. It's just Asuka. Like, as much Nia Jax is also is possibly the most powerful one there.
Asuka's the most dangerous.
I just don't see Raw losing for that one specifically. We'll talk about the men's one in a second and describe why, again, Raw will probably win that one too. Probably.
Yes.
But for the women's, I just don't see that happening unless they do that whole Braun Strowman, James Ellsworth holding the leg of Asuka thing again. Which I would love. I think it would be a great moment.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Let's move on to the men's, though. I mean, who's on for that?
So, for the Raw side, we have Kurt Angle, the captain, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Jason Jordan.
So that's all 5 of them, correct? You have Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman.
Yeah, that's 5.
Okay.
And then SmackDown, we have Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and just announced John Cena, the free agent.
Why do they hate Rusev?
I really
they hate Rusev so much. They just give him a goddamn spot.
I really thought Rusev was.
Oh my god! Why?
I really thought Rusev was getting.
Him and Lana are gonna be leaving soon. I can just see it. Oh my god!
But look at this teams. It does look like that Raw has the distinct advantage, except for a couple of factors.
Well, I think now that John Cena's in there, that's probably why they wanted to make it more stacked, because if they put Rusev in there, I think it just, on face value, it looks like Raw would kick SmackDown's ass, but now we have John Cena in the mix.
Yeah, but Raw has Jason Jordan, so that's already gone.
Well, yeah, that's for other reasons, though, not for actually losing, technically.
I see 3 things happening in this match. 4.
Okay, 4. I'm going to count them up. Go on.
Jason Jordan turns heel on Kurt Angle.
Which I would love to see.
Either for 2 reasons. 1, you're a deadbeat dad.
Yeah, which is an obvious one.
Or 2, I'm a spy sent in by Shane McMahon to win.
That's a possibility.
I would enjoy that. I'd be like, I was sent in by Shane McMahon to cost you your job. To get.
Oh my god, that's so perfect. Oh my god. Can it be both, though? Can it be both those reasons together? You're deadbeat dad, and this is the perfect way for me to go into this with Shane's blessing? That'd be great. I would love to see that.
Second, Finn Balor and Samoa Joe beat the holy hell out of each other that they both just get eliminated.
Yeah, I could see that.
Third, Kane cost Braun Strowman.
Wait, who?
Kane cost Braun Strowman his spot.
Oh, okay.
Like, Kane comes out and beats the holy shit out of Braun Strowman.
Yeah, that
and then Braun Strowman just goes on a tear. And finally, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn cost SmackDown the win.
Okay, so that last one I have a hard time believing.
You don't think KO...
Well, considering what happened this past week...
we'll talk about that, but I think...
We'll talk about that. But, yeah, I think if what happened this week between those two didn't happen, then, yeah, I would say that's a pretty strong likelihood that that's going to happen. But,
yes, like, it'll... I don't know. I see so many things that could happen, so many interferences, so many feuds. I could see so much happening in this match, and it's going to be chaotic, crazy, and I'm going to love every second.
Post Survivor Series is going to be be for the rest of the year.
So it's going to shape up into
for literally the rest of the year, and possibly into Mania. So it's very exciting.
Definitely.
Speaking of what happened,
what transpired?
Yeah, what transpired? What's going to occur at Survivor Series? The possibility of the New Day versus the Shield.
Yes. So, as we alluded to earlier, the Bar defeated Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins due to chicanery. Specifically, the New Day shows up and distracts
the entire Raw roster.
Yes, including Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Sheamus and Cesaro take advantage, pin them, and now it looks like we're getting into New Day versus the Shield at Survivor Series. That's gonna be good.
Yes, it is. I'm very excited about this.
This is gonna be amazing. The last time I was this excited,
Who's the heel in this? New Day, right?
no, there is no heel.
Yeah, there is. There has to be a heel.
What? No. Tell that to Miz versus Baron, where there's only faces. There's no face.
We all know who the face is in that. We all know we
Miz.
want the Miz to win. That's different.
But New Day versus the Shield, that's gonna be really good.
Well,
I haven't been this excited since New Day versus the Wyatt family.
yes.
It is on that level. Like, sure, Evolution versus the Shield was amazing.
Riots versus the Shield was epic.
Yes, this was awesome, Chance, before they even touched.
It's gonna be amazing. And for those of you who are thinking, oh, that can't really happen, Roman Reigns is not gonna be there. Well, there's reports of him being okayed to be cleared and possibly showing up on this Monday Night Raw.
He's already been announced for Raw.
Okay, so
He's already been announced.
it's definitely gonna be 3-man versus 3-man, and it's gonna be legendary to watch.
Who do you want to win?
That's the tough part. I don't know.
I want the
I mean,
Shield to
I'm
win.
currently wearing my Shield shirt, the new
Yes.
one, and it's awesome. Check it out. I'm now showing it because I was wearing a sweatshirt before because it's cold in his basement, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think the Shield's gonna win. This is gonna be their first time together since Payback of 2014. Plus, this is their 5-year debut, 5-year anniversary. They debuted
they debuted
2012
Was it Survivor Series or was it Hell in a Cell that they debuted?
Survivor
It was
Series.
Survivor Series and the
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell match? Okay.
Survivor Series. They
Punk.
debuted during Punk, Ryback, and John Cena triple threat.
Inside Hell in a Cell.
No,
Yeah, it was inside Hell in a Cell.
no.
Oh, no. That was Punk and right. Never mind. I got confused.
There you go.
That's my fault.
Yes. But this is their 5-year anniversary. Oh no, it's also the New Day's anniversary. They debuted at Survivor Series.
This Survivor Series just got more exciting as we're talking about it, hasn't
Shield has to win though. They have to. It's their first reunion together. They have to win.
it? And this one's going to be interesting to watch because this is one of those ones that we don't know again.
Yes. I'm excited. That's going to be excellent. Looking forward to that. The men's match. I'm especially looking forward to the women's match, actually, between Alexa Bliss and it has to be Charlotte, because there's other things with that as well. One, it's a face-heel dynamic. Two, it'll be the only women in the company to have held the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but those are going to be and Brock versus AJ. Those are the 4 I'm really looking forward to. But New Day versus Shield probably is on the level of Brock versus AJ for me.
All right. We'll postpone for now just any
Yes.
Survivor Series talk because we'll get into that next week.
Yes,
Let's
we
get
will.
on to our last thing, and we alluded to this kind of earlier with KO and Zayn.
Yes. So
I think it's interesting for what we're about to talk about, so pay attention, guys.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have been sent home from the European tour. Yes. They were sent home early. According to reports, what was supposed to happen this week on SmackDown, after Zayn and Kofi Kingston had their match, Kevin Owens was going to join Sami Zayn in beating up Kofi Kingston, which they did. But the New Day was supposed to run in and take him out, fight him, and beat him out of the ring, and then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn would be running away. That didn't happen. As soon as the New Day went in the ring, Sami Zayn and KO left. They left right away without any physical altercation, and according to reports, that was them going into business for themselves.
Yep, I think
that
it was Pro Wrestling Sheets that said that?
There were many reports.
There were many reports.
Yeah. A lot of people are reporting the same thing.
Yeah, it's probably disgruntled work thing. I heard that there was other might have been related to Neville.
Yeah.
In that sense. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
what I read up on is that they've been having a little bit of back and forth with creative. They've been a little difficult to work with.
It's because they don't have Jimmy Jacobs anymore.
That's another thing. They were really close with both Jimmy Jacobs and Neville, both of whom were left under really, really difficult circumstances. Jimmy Jacobs being fired over the Bullet Club picture that he posted when Bullet Club invaded, quote unquote, Raw. And then they were also close with Neville, who walked out on Raw all of a sudden. And, you know, it kind of begs the question, what's this going to do with KO and Zayn? Are they going to, like, is this just going to be less prominent booking? Are they going to leave? Are they going to get fired?
Well,
Like,
that's what I was kind of alluding to when we were talking about Survivor Series and the match. I don't know. I'm going to be upset to not see KO and Zayn anymore if they do decide to leave, which does seem a possibility. And I also think it would be really funny to see the Young Bucks send pictures of Bullet Club t-shirts to them, because I think it'd be really funny. But, I don't know. I hate that creative is doing this to really smart wrestling guys.
what if this is a work?
It's possible it's a work. I would love the fact that it would be a work. I don't know. I think if this is real, though, let's put that in this way. KO and Zayn are the smartest wrestlers that know how to make a match.
Yes.
So arguing against what they believe is right and, you know, whatever writers Vince gives them or whatever, or Hunter or whatever, and going off against them, I mean, it doesn't seem smart. They were brought into this company for their work style and that they make matches and that they look good doing it, essentially, and they sound good doing it, and they do. And now with this team that they basically have, I think that, you know, like, they're a team and they know how to do their jobs. I think their creative at WWE does hinder wrestlers. I think that's what they did with Neville. I believe that they did that with a lot of wrestlers that are even still in the company, like Nia Jax and a bunch of other people not being used. So, I mean, it's really hard to really pinpoint down what the real story is, but it's pretty close.
I really hope that this is like just like a small thing, just a small disciplinary thing, and it does not escalate into anything major.
Yeah, because SmackDown needs KO and Zayn.
It's really helping them with ratings. It's great
They're
storytelling.
They're great wrestlers. Like, I don't know. This is the problem that I have with WWE getting writers outside of wrestling, because some of the time they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like they've used to hire soap opera people to write their stuff, and it's good, like, promo some of the time, but like other times it's just really bad. And the only really good ones were Brian Gewirtz, Paul Heyman back in the heyday, and Jimmy Jacobs. Those were some of the best writers that they had, and, you know,
Now it's like,
I mean, Paul Heyman still works with them, but not in a writing capacity. He's more of a, you know, on-screen personality every time Brock Lesnar shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brian Gewirtz is working with The Rock, and Jimmy Jacobs is, you know, commentary on Bound for Glory. I mean, which is another weird thing that happened this week. But we don't have time to talk about Bound for Glory.
Nah.
I don't want to think about that other company. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
But ending the news on the fact that Survivor Series is really shaping up. It's shaping up to be an excellent pay-per-view. A lot of dream matches going on right now. There is a lot of noteworthy stuff between returns, possible departures. You know, there's a lot of notable debuts. It's really shaping up. After the break, we're going to go into
our main event, which is going to be a little bit of lightening up from a lot of this news stuff, and do a kind of fun topic talking about most underrated champions. And it's going to be part one of a series we're going to be doing every now and again. Mm-hmm. And the first one's going to be about WWE champions. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Stay tuned.
Hello, Audio Marks. I'm here to talk to you about Patreon. Patreon is a website dedicated to giving more power to the content creator and their patrons who support them. By giving them an avenue of direct support, these creators can create any kind of art with Patreon. Music, drawings, videos, and yes, podcasts. There's no middleman. So please head over to our page on Patreon, Marks for Life Podcast, to support us with a $2 donation. With this donation, you can get all of our podcasts on our page, and you can get a special shout out from ourselves, Jimmy and CJ. Or you could just do the regular $1 donation just to support the podcast. Now back to the show, Audio Marks. Thank you very much.
And And we are back.
Yep. Yes, we are.
Back from commercial break. And now we are ready to talk about our main event. Our underrated champions of WWE. The first thing we're gonna be breaking this up into 4 parts.
Well, hold on. Before we do that, something I actually kind of forgot to mention. This past week was the what was it? The 20th anniversary of the Montreal Screwjob. Just
Yes.
wanted to point that out really quickly.
Yes.
We are not going to be talking about it. I don't care what you think, Mike. We're doing this one. Sorry, I just needed to shout it out to my brother because he told me about that. So, going back to the women for underrated champions.
Yes. We're breaking it up into 4 parts. Women's championship first. And then we're going to talk about the tag team championship, mid-card titles, which includes Intercontinental, United States, European, Hardcore, etc. And finally, we're going to end with the World Heavyweight Champion. Now, you said that you have someone that came automatically to mind when talking about the most underrated women's champion.
Yes.
Who
At
is-
least one of them.
Who?
Ivory.
Ivory. Really?
Yeah, very underrated.
How so?
She was a great worker when she was there. What was the faction she was a part of?
Right to censor.
Right to Senate. She was great.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a fantastic match with, I believe, China for the women's championship at, what was it, It wasn't Mania. Was it?
That was a 14-second match.
It was still...
That wasn't a good. That was a squash. That was
It put over China. So you know what? Anyway.
Everyone
I think...
put over China. Everyone put over China.
Shut up. But I
Rest in
think...
peace.
No, but on a more serious note, like, Ivory, honestly, is a very underrated champion. She was a fantastic worker in the ring.
Yes.
I think that, in my opinion...
Ivory was consistent. She was good. She had a great gimmick as a leader of this stable. She was a leader. Bear in mind. Her and Steve Richards.
Yep.
Steven Richards.
Stevie Richards of ECW.
Steven during that time. Steven Richards, the good father. Val Venus. Oh my god, what
Chop the pee-pee, Val Venus. Oh god.
that
And they made it was a great stable, and just thank you, Ivory.
thank you. That I agree that she is underrated.
Okay, who did you have though?
Bull Nakano.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Bull Nakano is a Japanese wrestler.
In WWE.
Back in the 90s, she was Alundra Blaze's feud
Ah.
for the women's. She held the women's championship for 5 months back in the 90s. She defeated Alundra Blaze for it. She was associated with Luna Vachon, and she was actually an inspiration for Paige. The PTO, the Paige Tap Out, was actually taken from Bull Nakano. She was the innovator of that.
Ah.
Yeah, she was a CMLL World Women's Champion. She was really big in Japan, but I really wanted to focus on WWE because she competed at SummerSlam. She lost against Alundra Blaze, but she defeated her
course.
actually November 20th in Tokyo, where she's from. So that's from when this podcast is going down. That's 9 days from now. It would have been 23 years since she won the title. She's retired
For as long as we've been alive.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, she had a very quick departure from the company. She was found in possession of cocaine, quickly fired and stuff. But the fact she held the title for 5 months, I feel like she was really underrated. And she was a really powerful wrestler. And her and Alundra Blaze put on great matches at a time where you really didn't expect much from women. So I feel like she deserves to be one of the most talked about women's champions.
All right.
So that's my pick. And then we have Ivory, who also fantastic.
Alright. Okay, so now you start off
With the
tag
ta-
teams, because I still need to think.
Money Incorporated. I chose for tag. Because here's the thing.
Money Inc. Wow.
Yes, it is $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase and Erwin R. Shyster, IRS. They were a tag team from February 1992, August 1993. They held the WWF Tag Team Championship 3 times. 3 times. Guess who they defeated for each of those reigns?
I don't know who.
Legion of Doom,
Okay.
natural disasters,
All right.
and then the Steiner boys, Steiner brothers, and then they had a feud with Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake. But the teams they defeated for them, as well as holding the tag team championship, they held them for pretty long times. Actually, they held them for a couple of months at times. But I don't know. They defeated two of the greatest tag teams for those titles, Legion of Doom and the Steiner brothers, and I think that they don't get enough credit.
All right.
And actually, because they won the title, $1 Million Man returned the $1 Million Championship too. He was like, I don't want to hold two titles. That's too much work. But I was very, I believe that they were one of the most underrated tag teams for WWE.
All right. I kind of have one. I don't know if this is cheating or not, but it did pop into my mind. I have to really think of like tag teams that I think would have been great if they were kept going, and if like the payoff was really good, and I don't know. I feel like the payoff at the end was subpar from their departure. But I'm thinking of The Miz and Damien Mizdow.
Really?
Yeah. I think that they were a fantastic team on the sole fact that Damien Sandow was the heart and soul of that. Just selling every single move on the apron while The Miz is in ring taking the moves. Basically getting the titles, and The Miz holding both titles, and Damien Mizdow holding toy titles of the same thing.
Now, do you think that they were really a tag team, or was it?
I mean, they won the tag team championship, so by that definition, yes, they are tag teams.
That you can consider John Cena and David Otunga that as well.
Unfortunately, yeah, but I wouldn't qualify them as like the great tag team. Ooh, speaking though of John Cena, a little honorable mention: him and The Miz
Also held
held the titles. Miz won them solely, and John Cena lost them.
Yes, I do remember that. It was against Nexus.
Yes.
Yes. John Cena's also held tag team championships with Shawn Michaels.
Ah, yeah, totally forgot about that one.
And I believe he also held it with Batista, if I remember correctly.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to look that
John
one.
Cena held it with 4 different partners. I do remember that. Shawn Michaels, David Otunga, The Miz, and I'm really thinking that it's Batista. Like, I really have it in my head now that it's Batista.
I think it probably was Batista. I feel like it makes sense if it was
Yep,
Batista.
Batista.
It makes sense if it was Batista.
Yeah, but alright. But they only held it for a month though.
I mean, it still doesn't define it still defines them as a great tag team. They were iconic enough to be remembered. I think everyone loves and misses Damien Sandow and The Mizdow.
Damien Sandow was one of the most underrated performers they had.
Like right now, he would be perfect with the Miztourage, and then the Miztourage gets their own versions of Damien Sandow.
Oh my god, that would
And then
be
you have, I don't know, you put, I don't know, what are people that aren't being used that would be perfect for that? I think if Darren Young was still around, he would be perfect for that. I don't know, for either Bo Dallas or Curtis Axel or something stupid. Something stupid. It would be funny, though.
I keep thinking Heath Slater.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking Heath Slater, too, but he's on his own thing. He's the last living Nexus guy.
Is he? Yeah.
He's the last living one.
Well, not living, but like.
Yeah,
contracted
living as in living in WWE.
Unless you want to count Daniel Bryan, but he's retired.
He's retired, and Otunga's on a on-screen personality. He ain't wrestling no more.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Well,
I don't know. But yeah, I'm sticking with the Mizdow. Miz and the Mizdow.
All right. They did have a good match at Survivor Series in that Fatal 4-Way. So I can.
And it was always fun to watch them.
It was very fun to watch him. And then he got the pin.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the mid-card championships.
Who do you got?
I have one in mind.
Who?
And I feel like this is also another cop-out. But I still feel like it applies. China.
Really?
China was IC champion, beating Jeff Jarrett in a good housekeeping match, and then lost it to Chris Jericho.
Okay.
So she counts, and as the first woman to win a male championship, it counts.
All right. Kind of a cop out, but I could see.
I mean, it's underrated. It counts. But I mean, while holding the IC championship, she did have a fantastic feud with Chris Jericho.
She did, yes.
And it was such an awesome moment beating Jeff Jarrett with Jeff Jarrett having pie all over his face and stuff like that. It was entertaining to watch.
She held it for a couple months, right?
I believe so, yeah. But I'm sticking with China for that. There was another one I had to think of, but I can't think of it right now.
Okay.
But you go on with yours.
Goldust.
What championship did he win?
Intercontinental and United States Championship.
When did this happen?
He held the United States Heavyweight Championship in WCW.
Oh, that's not Goldust.
That is Goldust.
It was Goldust, or was it Dustin Rhodes? Or was it, what's his other persona he had in that?
Black Rain.
Black Rain. Was it Black Rain?
No, I think it was Dustin Rhodes.
Okay.
But
So
I think
Dustin,
under the same, thing. But, okay. But he was a 3-time Intercontinental Champion and a 9-time Hardcore
He's a
Champion.
3-time Intercontinental Champion?
You don't remember that?
No.
He beat The Undertaker in a casket match.
When was this?
Back in the Royal Rumble.
What year?
Oh my god. I think it was like 93 or
Okay,
something.
that's why I'm not gonna know this stuff. It was before I was born.
I told you, I researched this stuff. I remember that though, because it was like the three best matches of each person's career. It was like a Rhodes thing, like a.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But
yeah,
man, really,
Goldust defeated the Undertaker.
And the Undertaker was an IC champion too.
No, he defended and retained against the Undertaker.
Who did he beat? It was probably Hunter Hearst Helmsley, wasn't it?
No,
that he beat. That Goldust beat.
no, this was back in the early 90s. This was shoot, hold on, I gotta. But yeah, Goldust, he doesn't get enough credit.
That's pretty iconic. I will say that. That's impressive.
That's
not someone I would think of off the top of my head.
right?
He
He
blew my
is
mind.
he's so good. And he's so consistent. I would love to see him have another reign.
Yeah, I would like to see that happen too.
But
if he's on Starrcade, that'd be awesome to watch.
oh my god, yeah, him versus Baron Corbin for the United States Championship match.
Or him versus The Miz for the IC Championship.
Here we go. Goldust versus The Undertaker, May 26th, 1996. In your house.
Oh, okay. It was in your house?
Yeah. I thought but it was a casket match, and he retained against The Undertaker.
Alright, that's something.
And he was
I'm gonna have Goldust.
He was a great mid-card champion in WCW as well. I feel like that he is severely underrated in the Rhodes family. You have Dusty Rhodes, Hall of Famer, heavyweight champion, pioneer, and stuff.
Took a lame gimmick and made it iconic.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes doing fantastic work on the indie scene, as well as had a pretty good career in the WWE as a singles competitor. And then a lot of people don't talk about Goldust, and I feel like Goldust, he needs.
Yeah, he definitely needs something. You're right.
Very underrated. Like, again, Attitude Era before the Attitude Era, especially with his flamboyant gimmick.
I got you, but you're absolutely right. Like, that's incredible.
Thank you.
All right, now let's talk about the world champion.
Where's your? Oh yeah, you said China.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Let's talk about world championships.
Yes.
And that's where you come in, my friend.
I had to do a lot of research because there was 60 years of history, and I went really with the WWE Championship.
Okay.
I looked into that one the most because I didn't consider the WCW.
Okay.
And then World Heavyweight, a lot of the people that held the World Heavyweight also held the WWE. So I had to
a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them.
a fair amount. And I came to the conclusion that I feel like the most underrated WWE champion was Kevin Nash.
All right, that's a nice change of pace. All right.
Kevin Nash, he held it once. Only once. But
He beat who for that? I think it was
Bob Backlund.
Oh, it was Bob Okay, that's not who I was thinking.
He beat
Okay.
Bob Backlund, but retained against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
And defeated Bret Hart for it.
All right, that's
Here's the thing. He only held it once, but his reign was the longest of the 90s, 358 days.
almost a year.
Almost a year. He was behind CM Punk, John Cena, and I believe Hulk Hogan in the past 25 years. And other people as well.
Like, he's still in the top 10 for longest reigns for World Heavyweight Champion.
I believe so. I remember reading it. I'm like, I just got to keep going back to Kevin Nash. I feel like Kevin Nash, though, is the most underrated, in my opinion. And he had good matches with, like, Shawn Michaels. I believe Bret Hart he had a good match with and stuff. He could hold his own against certain people. And then after his reign, he went on to form the NWO. So he kind of left on a really high note for him. He also had a good match against Undertaker at WrestleMania, which I feel like is an underrated match. I believe Kevin Nash is probably the most underrated champion.
Okay. I have two in mind. They're not cop-outs, so...
Okay.
But I have two in mind. They're fairly recent. One is a WWE champion, and the other is a world champion.
Okay.
World heavyweight champion.
All right.
So, the first WWE is the first reign of The Miz.
The first reign of the Miz.
Which I think is the only reign of
It is the only reign of The Miz.
I'm only saying it the first reign because I do 100% believe that he will be WWE champion again. Because he needs to be.
You would hope.
Oh, God, at some point he needs to be. But honestly, his first reign, I was excited when he won. I remember the day that he won, the pay-per-view that he won it at, and for how long he won it for. It was by far one of the best things. Because I loved The Miz. Like, when everyone hated him during like his time as a U.S. champion, I remember like, oh, that's a guy like I kind of like, and I like to hate a lot. And even as WWE champion, it was great. Plus, we got the awesome meme of the little girl scowling at The Miz beating John Cena for the title.
Nope.
Oh, no, it was Randy Orton.
There you go.
There we go. Sorry,
nice Miz fan right here.
Hey, at least I picked him for underrated champion. But yeah, I honestly do believe that The Miz is one of the most underrated champions.
Okay.
And then the other one, which I'm
World heavyweight.
for the world heavyweight, I guess he's kind of a cop-out. I'm not sure. It depends on what you feel about it. But it's another guy who won the world championship against a top guy. He did not win it at a major pay-per-view. He won it on a SmackDown. He cashed it in, and he cashed it in on Raw.
Jack Swagger.
No. Cashed it in on Raw. And the
See.
whole arena erupted with glorious praise of him, and he's doing crap right now. And I'm talking about Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, I thought you meant CM Punk.
No,
Dolph Ziggler
is a very underrated champion.
I can't even consider that. I'm sorry, I disagree with that.
Okay, how can you disagree with that? Because
He had one match as World Heavyweight Champion and he lost.
Exactly. That's why he's underrated.
I
He won Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was anticipating when he was ever going to cash it in. And he finally cashed it in on Alberto Del Rio. And when he won the title, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, nothing.
I understand where you're coming from. It was just he's far from like.
He's a fantastic wrestler, regardless of what he's doing now, which I know is crap.
Oh, I agree.
But still, he is a world champion. The first time he won the world championship was not even a win. It was Vicky Guerrero handing him the title.
Yes.
And then that was the time like, oh yeah, he deserves it, but not this way, and that's why we all hate him. But then once like he got back into that whole groove of like winning Money in the Bank and everyone anticipating him cashing it in, and he finally cashes it in, everyone loved him.
Oh no, I agree that he should have been given more of an opportunity, and that his cash-in was one of the best cash-ins.
Probably the best cash-in. Other than, I think, Seth.
I was about to say Seth Rollins.
Other than Seth, he had the best cash-in.
I can't go with Dolph Ziggler. I just can't. There is one reign that there are two reigns actually I want to talk about with the World Heavyweight, and
okay.
I'm gonna actually stick with this one. This one I feel like is the most underrated. Mark Henry.
Yeah, that one was very underrated.
Mark Henry, I feel like, is the most.
That was the Hall of Pain storyline, though.
That was great.
That was post retirement speech.
That was pre.
That was pre or post?
Post-retirement speech was 2013. He was versing John Cena. He challenged him at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, but then after that, he did the whole Hall of Pain thing and then got the title from that?
That was 2011.
Ah.
Yes. During the Hall of Pain storyline, he defeated Sheamus, who was on a huge roll.
Yeah, in 2011. Yeah.
2011 into 2012. Yeah, he was a huge role. He injured Kane and Big Show. He was dominating everyone. Great Khali. He beat Randy Orton clean. I believe it was Night of Champions after Randy Orton and Christian feud. And then he went on to defend against Randy Orton, defend against the Big Show in excellent matches. I feel like he is probably the most just because he was so great to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So great to watch. I don't know. I'd rather have watched Mark Henry Hall of Pain. I loved his reign. If we're going.
No, I understand that. You had another one though.
The other one I had in mind.
I have a kind of another one.
Was Kane.
Okay, that's not what I was thinking of. I have another one though.
That was the other one, because he finally he defeated the Undertaker 3 times in a row. That was huge for Kane's career. Granted, the matches were okay, but I get what
you're saying.
He was so hot during that entire feud. And then he lost the Edge, but it was great to see Kane get that world title run that he deserved, because WWE title run, he had 1 day. 1 day. And then he lost.
That's fair.
So, who is the
other one that I thought of was Christian. After not getting the WWE Championship, near retirement, Edge already retired, or was about to retire, he finally gets the big win, I believe, Mania?
Nope, Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules. Defeating Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship.
And loses it in 6 days.
But still, he was still an underrated champion.
See, how I'm basing it off of is also, the length of reigns, who you versed in.
But that doesn't matter at the end of the day, because it also matters for the person who's holding the belt. Great workers that we all love that deserve to be champions, and that perfectly encompasses Miz, Dolph Ziggler, and Christian. Even the other guys that you mentioned as well.
No, I understand that we're just doing basis of champions.
Because if we're gonna go basis on that, then Jinder Mahal qualifies as an underrated champion, which he technically does.
I feel like I didn't want to use Jinder because I felt like that was a cop out.
Also, it's too soon.
It was too soon.
Because we had. I'm not gonna lie, I had hopes for Jinder.
Yeah, I did too.
I think a lot of us did, but it would cop out nonetheless.
Again, yeah, but as much as I love the performers, as much as I love, how great of workers they are, at the end of the day, they just weren't, Miz I feel like he had great work.
He had great work, he just held the title a little bit longer. That's the only thing you're agreeing with.
Because Dolph Ziggler had 1 title defense and lost. Same with Christian. He lost his only title defense twice. It's hard for me to root for them as underrated champions when they didn't really have much of a reign to really look at.
All right.
And that's the difference for me.
All right.
Workers, they're fantastic, but as champions, no. That's my thing. I know you have different judging criteria, but that's personally my thing.
All right, that's a fair thing, and I can accept that. But yeah, that was our picks.
Yeah.
Man, we went long on this podcast.
I don't even want to look.
No, you don't want to. But that's our show, guys.
Let us know if you guys have different ideas on underrated champions. We'd love to hear your opinions. We'd love to hear something.
Yeah, I know. We're not getting anything from you guys. We feel really alone in this.
Yes.
As much as we love talking to each other about wrestling, we would like to hear from the viewers as well.
Definitely.
We have social media. You know where it is. Just find us, and we'll be there to listen to you.
I'm always posting stupid stuff on Facebook. Just
same thing. And Twitter and Instagram.
Yes.
All of that good stuff. But that's the show, guys.
All right. Have a good one.
And that's the bottom line.
Thank you, everyone, for staying tuned to our podcast. Special shout out to the Sachem Public Library for the continued use of their equipment and space. Continue supporting us by rating and subscribing through Patreon, Audio Boom, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Radio Public, Spotify, Google Play Music, and Apple Podcasts at Marks for Life Podcast. And now check out our YouTube channel, Marks for Life, for our podcast playlist and new content coming soon. Please follow us on our social media on Twitter at Marks for Life Pod, Instagram at Marks for Life Podcast, our Tumblr page, Marks for Life Podcast, and our Facebook page, Marks for Life Podcast. And email us at marksforlifepodcast@gmail.com for any questions or comments. Until next time, Audio Marks.